Coffee. Blessings. Welcome to Grace Levi Live in the Morning. We have around two today. I'm paying catch up, y'all. And I didn't want our first live to be long winded. Okay. Today, I wanted to talk about what's going on with ICE so we won't be blinded while we pay attention to what's going on with the Epstein files. Now, today, I want to do a pseudo reaction video to something that I came across, which was alarming and kind of like a reflection. Because I got to tell you, I told you so, not in a good way. Because what's going on, what I have noticed is that we have people who are impersonating ICE. And my fear a couple of weeks ago, or a couple, yeah, was that people were going to use impersonating ICE to kidnap women, kidnap people. But what's alarming to me is that I came across this article where you have a New York sergeant who impersonated ICE related to his love triangle. Okay, so before we do that, we're going to do a little flashback because prior we showed you the FBI issuing a warning and a memo to ICE telling ICE, hey, stop wearing those masks, pull them down. You got to identify yourself. So let's get this broadcast started. Thank you for being here for round two. Hopefully the notifications go out. Again, welcome to Grace Levi in the morning. It is still morning time and we can still be sipping on coffee for a little while. So let's go.
The FBI issued a memo encouraging ICE officers to stop wearing masks in the field and to specifically identify themselves. That directive came after several incidents of agents being impersonated. ICE agents say they wear those masks to keep them from being doxxed. ICE also says it's concerned about the safety of its agents in the field. In Fullerton, California, this week, police came across a man pointing a gun at a woman on a busy street. He identified himself as an ICE agent and said he felt like she was following him. Joining us now, staff writer at The Atlantic, Nick Miroff. He covers immigration and the Department of Homeland Security and just wrote about the issue of ICE agents wearing face masks.
Now, shout out to the family. I'm going to call y'all family who saw this broadcast where I played this and we talked about some of the limits of them not showing their face, not even identifying themselves, having a badge to pull out or anything. And it's so crazy that they're worried about being doxxed, but they're out there acting like lunatics. Like lunatics. Again, y'all know I don't like the tactics of what ICE is doing, but I do understand that we have to get the immigration issue together, but not like this. So let's watch just a minute or two of this, and then we're going to get into the actual New York officer who impersonated ICE and now pleaded not guilty to charges. It's getting kind of hectic. And then we're going to see what's going on with ICE in Charlotte, Memphis, and New York right now. Right now.
And he says those face mask coverings aren't going anywhere. All right, so Nick, good to have you. Let's talk about the masks. FBI wants them to stop wearing them. Why would they not listen?
Well, I think we've seen other federal agencies that are assisting ICE in this mass deportation campaign quickly adopt the same face coverings.
And wait, if y'all know I have the same reaction, that's a lie. Okay? Over is over. Nobody wants to wear those things. Officers who've been on their posts for years don't care about their face being hidden. So that's a plain out lie. Same reaction like I did before. Let's just watch a few more minutes because he had got on my nerves before, just by saying that. But again, let's listen to the expert.
One veteran ICE official I talked to said that the FBI agents and the other agencies from the Department of Justice seem even more keen to wear masks than ICE officers because they don't really want to be there. And so I think there's broad concern about the effect that this is having on the image of these agencies, even though nobody really expects the mask to come off anytime soon.
How big of a problem are these impersonations?
Well, there have been several, instances already of criminals using masks, claiming to be, federal officers or agents in order to rob people or abuse people in some way or another. And it all points to a deterioration of trust. I mean, one of the reasons why police officers show their faces and have name tags on their uniforms is to give people confidence that they are who they say they are and that they should be trusted. And so if you have officers of the law going around looking like, bank robbers or stagecoach robbers with gaiters over their faces, they certainly don't reassure anyone that that they represent the law, and it's understandable that people would be confused and lose trust.
Okay, so I was watching this. I was bringing this up because I was like, it's going to be criminals that actually do this. But guess what? Today, years old, released 2 days ago, NYPD sergeant accused of posing as ICE official. Documents. Okay, let's go. A sergeant of the new NYPD has been accused of pretending to be an ICE director and trying to force a family to report to the immigration enforcement location in New York City, according to the court documents. According to the court document, Islam claimed to be a field officer. I guess that's his name. Officer director. Oh, freaking News 11, all the pop-ups. I don't have my pop-up block on. I do apologize. Director of ICE New York field office and contacted an unnamed victim on March 29th. It alleges he demanded the victim and the family to report to ICE location in New York on April 15th. Islam was arrested on Tuesday, and court documents say the alleged incident took place in Queens. So let me see, can I get one that's not going to have all these pop up on us? But I was afraid of criminals doing this. But guess who's doing this? Officers. Can y'all hear me? Okay, cool. And I hope my mic is coming through clear. I know it sounds a little bit different, but we'll be able to adjust it. Let me see. This officer right here, I think we have some articles. It says New York NYPD officers pleads not guilty to impersonating ICE agent. This is November 18th. So an NYPD sergeant has been charged with posing as a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement field officer, field director, and ordering a victim and their family to turn themselves in. Now, allegedly, this victim and their family is supposed to be like his ex-girlfriend, or I don't know. It has to do with a love quarrel. At an arraignment on Tuesday at the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York, Islam, 29, pleaded not guilty to a single charge of personating of a federal officer and was released on an unsecured $25,000 bail. Oh no. Defense attorney who appeared for Islam told the U.S. migration judge, Merkel, that the NYPD suspended his client without pay and seized his badge and service weapon, uh, as they should. As they should. According to the court paper, Islam, who also used the alias John W. Anderson, allegedly contacted the person identified in the court paper as victim one and identified himself as the ICE field director. Islam directed the victim to and their family to report to ICE April 15th per court documents. The exact location of the alleged offense is not provided in public available court documents, though one file stated that it occurred in Queens. Merkel also granted a request by the federal prosecutor to order Islam to stay away from the block where the victim resides, because it's some personal stuff going on right now, y'all. And it's dangerous. Let me see if it's gonna let us play. I think we have a lot going on today, but we're gonna definitely get clarification. Islam did not respond to the reporter's question as he left the courtroom. According to the NYPD records, he is assigned to Police Service Area 3. So whoever out there in Queens, y'all, Queens know what's going on. Some of them crooked police, which patrols houses projects in Bushwick. So it's this guy done lost his cheese and bread. Let me see if this gonna play for us. Is it? Oh, we're gonna hear music. Cause you know how they do. Music. All right, let's see. Let's get to it. So this is what I was afraid of someone impersonating ICE and doing something to us. But then guess what? It's an officer. So when we get more updates on this particular situation, we're going to show it to you. We probably put it together in a compilation just to give you an update because people going to jail. behind impersonating ICE. And I don't know why would they want to, because ICE is not the person to impersonate. Okay, so now we're going to get into ICE invasion of Charlotte, Memphis, and NYC. Just a short breakdown, and then we're going to talk about where we at with court cases. Now, if you don't know what we do here, we break down things comprehensively. Like I kind of give y'all a build up because I can't sit here and come every day and be like, this happened, this happened. So I kind of predict some things and then it come true, then we talk about it, and we keep it non-biased here. If you like that type of commentary, it don't matter if you left or right, but you have respect for humanity and you have your own mind, hit the like button. Now, we're going to continue this broadcast because what we're trying to do is get in the algorithm. Now, Trump is supposed to be meeting with Mandani. Okay. Uh, Shout out to Mandani. He already they've been calling him a socialist. And he said that he's going to defund New York if Mandani win. And he already won. So, oh well, let's see what happens. Let's see what Trump.
My first deputy mayor and my chief of staff. Two leaders who have deep experience guiding our city and state through challenging moments, possess the fresh, innovative ideas needed to transform our city, and the expertise to help me deliver on the campaign promises that resonated with more than 1 million New Yorkers a literal over a week today. First, I want to announce my first deputy mayor, Dean Fullahan. I also want to announce my incoming chief of staff, the unparalleled L. Bisgard Church. Few have played a more central role in this movement, or in every victory we achieved together in the assembly.
Now let's see what how New York pan out. Y'all know I was a little skeptical of how past administrations dealt with the Ovid. They was really pushing it out there, but I got an exemption actually when I was in New York because I did work out there as a nurse. I was out there in the COVID. And I got an exemption, but I didn't like how they were pushing the narrative for it. So Trump is supposed to be meeting Mr. Mandami, and I wonder what type of talks they're going to have. So President Donald Trump said he would meet New York City Mayor Mandami on Friday. So this should be happening tomorrow. People are kind of like, all right, what's going to happen? Because he was very disrespectful. And I don't understand how y'all deal with it as far as being in politics and being disrespected by certain individuals so harshly. And then you have to go back and talk to them. It's a little bit ridiculous. But anyway, he's supposed to be meeting with Trump on Friday, signaling some type of possibly compromise between them two, highlighting that we have ICE that is inside New York and TikTok is on the go. Now, I don't got no TikTok clips because I didn't want to make this long-winded. But let's talk about what's going on according to The Hill. Yes, we show everything to everybody. All right, so we're gonna get into my favorite fave, which he is not. And y'all know I cannot stand the Border Patrol chief and commander because he's such a liar. Okay. All right, so let's just read this article. Let this play real quick. Thank you for being here with me. We're playing catch up here. We're doing a comprehensive breakdown, making sure that people don't forget so many people live. Don't forget what's going on with ICE because I'm a little upset with the way they're handling things. And as I said,
Borders are ICE operations planned for New York City by Sarah Fortinsky. White House border czar Tom Homan said on Tuesday that Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE operations will ramp up shortly in New York City. In an interview on Fox News's America's Newsroom, the Trump administration's senior immigration official noted that he previously had an agreement with New York City Mayor Eric Adams to let ICE operate from Rikers Island. But the city council sued to block the proposal, and the state Supreme Court sided with the council.
I'm scared to pause this.
I plan on being in New York City in the near future.
We gotta pause this. Y'all from out there, right? Y'all know Rikers Island is Rikers Island is tore up from the floor up, almost made me throw up. No, and I'm just being modest. That place not only is dangerous, but the whole structure of it, that thing is supposed to be shut down. Just like the place I was telling you in Jersey that ICE took over, which is Delaney Hall. They go to the most decapitated places, the places that are disintegrated, and take that as their bunker place to bring people in. I'm gonna tell you that Rikers Island. If y'all from out there, I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Jersey, so back and forth from New York. I was born in Brooklyn. I know Rikers Island is not just the people who go to Rikers Island that's dangerous, but the whole setup is dangerous. It's so, like they set up hits in there amongst each other. The guards will have certain places that don't have cameras. It's terrible. Hopefully it is a play again. I didn't even want to pause it, but right now we had to because Rikers Island is a little bit scary. But the city council sued to block the proposal, and the state Supreme Court sided with the council. Thank you, because Rikers Island is dangerous.
We are going to do operations in New York City. We know, in New York City, me and Mayor Adams at one point had an agreement to let ICE into Rikers Island. But the city council shut it down, Hammond said in the interview. Hammond said there is already a significant law enforcement presence in the city, but residents can expect that to increase. So we are going to be coming to New York City, he continued. We are already there now. I mean, teams are there now, but we are increasing enforcement present in New York City again, because they are a sanctuary city, and we know we have an issue there with public safety threats in the street every day. Hammond said ICE operations are not focused specifically on the partisan leaning of the city, but added that the government is targeting so-called sanctuary cities since, he said, that is where the government perceives there to be the biggest threat. Regardless of Republican or Democratic city, we are going to enforce the laws across this country and take those public safety threats off the street, Hammond said. But I will say this, he continued. I have said it from day one. Sanctuary cities, we are flooding the zone because we know they are releasing public safety threats in the communities every day. That is where the biggest problem is, and that is where we are sending majority of the agents, Hammond added. In a statement from Adams's office, a spokesperson stressed the importance of maintaining public safety, adding, that is exactly what Mayor Adams has worked to do every day for nearly 4 years. As the Adams administration has said over and over, we are willing to work with federal authorities on criminal issues like stopping the flow of illegal guns. The statement read, pointing to public safety achievements during Adams's term. But we have also been clear that our administration will always follow the law, and that means we do not collaborate with the federal government on civil immigration enforcement. The statement continued.
Let's stop right there. I'm saying no, no, no. Adams is a daggone lie because they flooded New York. They was so reckless with their immigration policies that they was putting the migrants in police stations, taking over schools. That was not handled properly. That was atrocious. That was disgusting. And that's what makes Trump makes the sanctuary cities a target because he knows that's where the migrants at. But my thing is that why flood the streets with ICE agent, Border Patrol, and other individuals that are being harmful to American citizens in their approach when you can literally just try to, how can I say, mix things up, go to the, how can I say, social services. You go to the social services. I'm just going to throw this out again. Go to social services department where all of these people registered, the people who was coming in, and try to start tracking them from there. This right here, though, is not working because if you go to TikTok and you watch what's going on in New York, they turned up. Okay, so I think I have a Do I have a clip of it? I don't think I have a clip. I probably should have had a clip of it instead of having more newspaper articles for you guys. Because I know y'all like watching the action. But um let's see. Let's see if we can watch this together. What is this? Thank you for stopping by this afternoon. I don't usually broadcast at this time, but I said, hey, let's try it. You never know. You know, we have some people come in here and have a good conversation. You never know. You never know.
But are the problems at the airports getting any better?
We connected
with travel experts to explain your rights as a passenger and what you can expect in the weeks ahead.
All right, this is Mandami. So in New York right now, what we're going to be doing is keeping our eye on what's going on with Mandami, Trump relationship. We already know that Trump is going to go into New York. Point taken. He's going to go into New York and do whatever he thinks he wants to do and exercise his power over Mandami. But let's see how he handles it, because the other administration did not handle this thing properly. Now, what we're going to be going into is Charlotte, because ICE is in Charlotte as well. But before we get to it, we're going to talk about some of the immigration policies that's happening with Trump right now.
Imagine being able to build
and how it's going to affect us. So there's some things that's going on, and I think we got to go into this a little bit more. Did y'all hear about Tender Hands? Tender Hands, guys. If y'all haven't heard about Tender Hands, this is allegedly an agency that is taking, the immigrant children from 6 months to 5 years old and housing them in these places called Tender Hands. And this is where they say is happening and the kids are getting lost. Okay, so these are some of the issues that's going on. Defer action for childhood arrivals. This is some of the laws. Renewal comes as the first time application are coming to an end. This is for January 2025 ruling from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals declaring that DACA program. That's just kind of what I was telling you, Tender Hands. We're going to go into that. I've been hearing some crazy things about Tender Hands and kids going missing there. Okay. They appeal the program unlawfully but allowed renewals for current recipients. So basically, they're trying to cut the migrants' resources off, all the resources that Biden gave to them. That's what they're trying to do. Also, it's another proceeding that's happening right now, Texas proceeding. It could end the work permit, which is going to cause more stress on us as a nation, because we already know some of the jobs that the migrants is occupying is the jobs that we don't want to do. And that's just real. Okay, that is just real. So the case was set back. This is Texas proceedings couldn't work permit. The case was set back to a lower district court in Texas, which is currently considering how to implement the Fifth Circuit decision. One possible outcome under consideration is serving deportation protections from work permits, which could end work authorization. So they want to sever it. They just want to just disconnect that application from the work permit, which could end work authorization for DACA recipients. Yeah. And do you know that they're doing something with the SNAP benefits? I think that's something we need to talk about. They're doing a whole reset with SNAP benefits. So it's like they're going to be kicking everybody off and they have to come back again. Girl. All right, so the future is uncertain. The District Court of Texas is expected to issue a new implementation or order about November 24th, 2025, coming up, which could alter the current state of the program, a final ruling by the Supreme Court. So by that time, we're going to figure out if they're going to, one, sever the funds definitely that the migrants are getting, because they're supposed to have a renewal of application for that, where that money was going to them. Also, they're trying to separate the application process from the work permit. I don't know how that's going to work, but the deportation protections that's under the application process, a little bit weird. That's why they trying to get people who come in there who's like trying to update their applications and get things done. I guess if they're expired, you can't have protections. Like they like, okay, if you let it expire, you got to get out. You supposed to handle this before time. That's what I'm getting. So, all right, now this is what is halted or things that's going on enforcement wise. Chicago, we know Chicago kicked out the border patrol. Bavano, I'm not really feeling him at all. He is just a plain out liar. a plain out liar. So Chicago arrests partially halted. In November 2025, a federal judge in Chicago ordered ICE to release hundreds of people from detention, as we talked about, who were arrested during operations because one, they can't even process these people through. They don't have enough judges. They don't have enough personnel. So these people are sitting there way longer than they're supposed to, which is against the Constitution. Appeal courts also, they pause limitations on force. Okay. Mm. We already saw what they're doing. We're about to show you right now because ICE is acting up in Charlotte. They turned up. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all what they're doing in Charlotte real quick. Charlotte, y'all too nice because they not showing a lot of New York on the mainstream because they turned up. The places that the people turned up, nah, they were showing the South Side. Shout out to the South Side. Y'all turned up, baby. Okay. So limited forces on November 19th. This was yesterday. An appeal court's temporarily blocked the Chicago judge order that had restrained how immigration agent could use force, such as tear gas against protesters. So it says the appeal court temporarily blocked the order. Yeah, that was a L. That was a L for us, meaning that they could still use this tear gas discretionally. And you remember that they had sprayed a baby 1 year old out there, and now they have a lawsuit pending that. So it says limits on courthouse arrest on November 18th. I say that because you know that judge got in trouble for that. Don't forget the judge got in trouble for trying to get that migrant, or the guy who was there for a separate charge, out of the courthouse. Y'all remember? Okay. So on November 18th, a federal judge dismissed a Trump administration lawsuit that challenged a New York law. The law makes it more difficult for ICE agents to make arrests at or near courthouse without a warrant. Thank you. Point blank, period. Now, one of the last challenges is the racial profiling. Let's get to this. Following the Supreme Court ruling in September 2025, racial profiling during immigration raids has become a contentious issue. The ruling overturned lower court decision. I think we got another L, allowing ICE and Border Patrol agents to stop individuals suspected of being undocumented, even if it's based on race. That's a problem. That's a problem. And that's why we need to know who is in these position as Supreme Court, federal court judges, because this is terrible. We got two L's here. All right, now let's get to what's going on Charlotte. It's a little turned up. Let's watch this together. Thank you for the people who stopped by. Please hit the like button. We're working to just get in the algorithm and let our video play anytime that y'all just get the notification. So we just gotta tough this out. Let's hit it. Let's go.
Border Patrol agents are targeting Charlotte, North Carolina in an operation dubbed Charlotte's Web. Cell phone video captured several arrests in the southern city over the weekend. Masked agents were witnessed pulling people from stores and parking lots.
There we go. Oh.
In one incident, agents broke the truck.
Do y'all see this? Oh my God, I'm about to be outraged, just like I was with the South Side. Here we go.
Window of an American citizen named Willie Aceituno. Aceituno told reporters he was injured in the action. He was detained, but later released as he told officers, "I am an American citizen."
Soy ciudadano americano.
Agents approached a landscaping crew, putting up Christmas decorations, but did not make any arrests.
Same
Protests
thing.
against the ICE surge were also evident in uptown Charlotte.
Hold up, wait. I gotta put my head down. Y'all not even seeing my face right now. Are the agents being trained in tormenting people? Because they're literally just tormenting people. Come on now. Somebody putting up a Christmas tree, like for real. I keep saying I'll be like, I'm over it. No, but that's the highest level of ridiculousness.
Residents shared their views with CBS News.
Look at this.
It's terrifying to pretty much know that at any moment a federal agent can just come out and abuse you just because of the way you look.
I seriously believe that immigration is a civil issue. It's not criminal. So this doesn't make any sense to me.
The action is being led by Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino, who is also part of similar recent surges in Chicago and Los Angeles.
That's why you kicked out of Chicago right now. He done created such a liability for the administration. So many lawsuits coming out of Chicago that he has no choice. And now he's going over to Charlotte to show his little ugly army face. He reminds me of G.I. Joe. He's the bad guy. He's the bad G.I. Joe here. You know what? I can't stand people who lie blatantly. So to watch him lie on the stand, and then he said some things that was just plain out arrogant. I think that was what it was for me, because he was like, the use of force was admirable. It was acceptable. Shooting the pastor in the head with the pepper ball basically was, how can I say, his excuse was, it's not my fault if you run into a pepper ball. And we plain out saw that he didn't run into a pepper ball. And that man can have a concussion and now suffer from seizures. I feel some way. I don't like to see violence like this. It's unacceptable. And this is the head of it. So now he's in Charlotte. Charlotte, y'all better stand up. I'm just saying, I'm not calling for violence. What I'm saying is y'all better look at what happened in Chicago, out there on the south side, and take charge.
In a social media post, Bovino quoted the children's classic Charlotte's Web to describe the surge, pasting, "Wherever the wind takes us, high, low, near, far, east, west, north, south, we take to the breeze, we go as we please."
Oh
that
my
The
God.
granddaughter of
He done came up with a whole saying for it.
White, author of Charlotte's Web, to speak out. Martha White, who was her grandfather's literary executor, issued a statement regarding the surge's branding. She said E.B. White, quote, certainly didn't believe in masked men in unmarked cars raiding people's homes and workplaces without IDs or summons, and that he didn't condone fear-mongering.
Yo, it's so bad. It's so bad that people trying to brand their sayings like, no, keep our sayings out of your mouth, because that's not what we stand for. It's going down to Charlotte. Charlotte is standing up, y'all. Let's go. Keep your eyes and your heart
Charlotte
with them,
is
y'all.
the fifth city targeted by Border Patrol. International DHS documents reviewed by CBS News suggest New Orleans could be next.
Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm sorry. I'm not surprised. Let's see what other clips we have about what's going on in Charlotte, and then we're going to get to Memphis. Look at this.
What the Trump administration says is a crackdown on illegal immigration.
Look what they doing.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is on the streets of Charlotte, North Carolina. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents conducting raids and arresting at least 80 people. This footage shows the moment resident Willie Wender Acentuno Medina's window is smashed by ICE agents.
We get a better view right now.
Slammed on the ground and handcuffed, all while shouting.
This is what we missed in the last broadcast. Oh my goodness.
He's a U.S. citizen and has valid identification with him.
I am citizen, man.
Medina says an officer eventually checked his ID while he was confined.
My baby said, I'm a citizen, man. That's what I'm saying. We are eclectic.
Inside a DHS vehicle. He claims agents then kicked him out of the car, leaving him on the side of the road 10 miles away from his damaged truck.
We've seen masked, heavily armed agents in paramilitary garb driving unmarked cars, targeting American citizens based on their skin color, racially profiling and picking up random people in parking lots and off of our sidewalks. This is not making us safer. It's stoking fear and dividing our community.
The governor of North Carolina is urging residents to remain peaceful, and if they see something alarming, to record it and report it. That's what happened outside a local hospital Sunday.
This how it goes. The people not playing. Let's see what happened.
When a man appeared to go into medical distress while being detained. A Homeland Security leader says the man had a panic attack after trying to evade agents by escaping through a bathroom ceiling tile.
We will not put up with
Hundreds gathered across the state through the weekend, condemning what they're calling the Trump administration's aggressive enforcement strategy. Speaking about similar demonstrations in Chicago, the U.S. border czar offered this message to demonstrators.
Have at it. But don't cross the line. I was watching the video before I came out here. When they put hands on a law enforcement officer, they're getting arrested and going to jail.
Federal staff say the
So what the hell? I'm sorry. They're putting their hands on people aggressively, and then you have Bavano disgust themselves, telling them if they touch you, it's assault. So stop it. Stop the gas. It's the gaslighting for me. It's the gaslighting.
The operation was in response to local officials refusing to comply with nearly 1,400 ICE detainment requests. North Carolina law enforcement leaders, meantime, say they're open to cooperating but did not get any warning of the raids. Meanwhile, local officials say they're proud of how community members are supporting one another.
We are standing up for those who are marginalized, those who are disconnected, those who are being adversely impacted.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security has dubbed the raids Operation Charlotte's Web.
Wow.
The granddaughter of the author of the children's novel of the same name is condemning the agency for, quote, riding on the book's coattails.
Thank
In
you.
a statement,
You said
Martha White says her grandfather did not condone fear-mongering, but rather believed in the rule of law and due process.
Okay, shout out to Charlotte. Okay, because Charlotte is stepping up like the South Side. They're not playing. I don't think they're going to be in Charlotte long. They're not. I just have this feeling. I'm just being honest because they looking a little different. Like they still out in Portland, but God is good because they were really trying to get Portland hard because I think they would have got Portland a little bit harder because Antifa. And that is another politically driven, allegedly funded entity that Trump is mad at. So I'm grateful that it didn't go crazy in Portland. And we got an update with that. The judges is still blocking the National Guard from going in because they don't have no reason. But response to Charlotte immigration enforcement is still mixed. Let's see what's going on. Okay, allegedly. It's not mixed here. They're just doing too much. Talk about
Bradley is in the city, live from Charlotte. What's the latest from there, Allie?
Yeah, hey, Connell, we were there early this morning when about 100 protesters showed up to really voice their displeasure to the federal deployment here in Charlotte. We know that over 250 illegal immigrants have been apprehended since Operation Charlotte's Web began on Saturday. And we saw similar scenes to the protests that we saw today in Raleigh last night in the state capitol, where hundreds showed up there to protest the deployment of Border Patrol in that area as well. Now, ICE and Border Patrol expanding their operations across the state. The city's mayor has encouraged people living there, though, to remain peaceful. And this all comes as threats against Border Patrol agents have actually increased. Intelligence sent out amongst Charlotte Mecklenburg police suggesting that the cartel is targeting Border Patrol agents and ICE officers working Operation Charlotte's Web. Information
go
also
to their
warning local
house.
police may be
Go to where they at. Don't go to where everybody else at and assault and batter American citizens. Go to where they at.
Taken for federal law enforcement not involved in the operations. Now, lawmakers and local residents continue to speak out against Border Patrol tactics being used here in Charlotte. Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin defending the tactics, saying anyone who impedes their mission will be subject to arrest. But some residents say this is going a step too far.
Whoa. What is all of this?
If it's a U.S. citizen or an illegal alien, if you're not complying with law enforcement, they have reasonable suspicion, and then they will take measures. They were using their training to take measures into their hands to make sure for their own safety and for the public safety.
I don't like her. I don't like her not one bit. First and foremost, you're letting ICE agents be the judge and the jury. That's not how it works. Y'all just saw that. Remember I was just talking about the damages that's going to happen to the cars, the liability that's going to be on the insurance companies because of this, because people are going to be filing claims trying to figure out how to get these things fixed. They can't directly go after the feds. Let's go.
Are a part of my community, and my children play with them, and so already emotional. It hurts my heart because I understand that there are processes for how to deal with deportation,
And this isn't it. Certain people attacking them. Kids are scared to go to school. Families are scared to go to work. You're not only creating fear amongst the immigrant community, but you're creating fear amongst our communities, period, all the way across the city.
This
a
is
lot of
Charlotte
emotion there.
reaction.
There is a lot of fear in the community over these raids too, so much so that people are staying home, including school-aged children. We're talking about nearly 30,400 Charlotte-Mecklenburg school students. Meanwhile, they were absent on Monday, according to the school district. Now, that actually accounts for roughly 21% of the district student.
All right. Do y'all see what's going on? Do you see? That's called a silent protest. They're pulling their kids out because of safety issues. If the school can't say, hey, we have control, they can't come in here. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it sounds like to me. A silent protest. Go, guys.
Population. Now, President Trump's senior advisor, Stephen Miller, he had a comment on this saying, quote, so a conservative estimate is that 1/7 of a major southern public school district is here illegally. We know next stop for Border Patrol Connell is Louisiana. And then we also heard the border czar Tom Homan saying New York is going to see a surge of...
My thing is these kids who are allegedly here illegally, they have signed up for school, they have addresses, they have other contacts. Why can't that be point of reference where the ICE agents actually go instead of bringing a ruckus to the school? Because they have been around schools, i.e. that person had just got shot in, the last person that got shot in the south side of Chicago, they were at a bus stop and they had tried to tell ICE agents to leave because the kids were coming out. And then as he was pulling off, the ICE agent shot at his car. Y'all don't remember? Do y'all remember that? I'll be remembering stories because I'll be telling. I'm telling. And he got, where did he get shot at? In the arm or something? It's 3 different shootings that happened on the south side. That's why they had to get out. But just remember that they be by the schools too.
Resources as well that we'll see an immigration crackdown there where you are as well, Connell.
Okay, yeah, we had that one day. I remember we covered it live, but it sounds like more's coming. Ali, thank you. Live from Charlotte.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News
shout out.
Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get...
Let me see what broadcast this is. News Nation. All right. Let's keep this broadcast going because what we're going to be getting into is Memphis, I believe. Charlotte is fighting for their life. Now that they have the Border Patrol here with Bavano, his crooked self, we're going to pray for them, but they're coming together. Now we're going to be talking about Memphis. Congressman Cohen asked Trump administration to take ICE out of Memphis. This is his own page. Okay, Stephen Cohen. Let's get to this because Memphis, I think they've been in Memphis for a while. I kept saying Memphis was going to be after Atlanta, and I think they were because they're still out here subliminally, y'all. Y'all don't know because we ain't complaining because they're not out here doing things harshly and crazy. I don't see ICE walking down Atlanta right now. Like, we don't see a lot of armed men. We don't see that. When I was out giving out food yesterday, I would see them. So Trump immigration enforcement is not going after the worst of the worst, and this is his concern. This is the Congressman Cohen remark. He said, I had a community meeting this week and met with some folks in Memphis, and the issues that they were most interested in were the immigration and ICE. They were very concerned about the people from ICE with masks on their face, mistreating people, dragging them out of their cars, stomping on their heads, and arresting them. Just reading that like that's normal. It's not normal. We've seen oftentimes they've done that to American citizens and they did it in error. They were also concerned about the immigrants who were taken out of the community that do so much good for the community. So I'm writing a letter to Christy Nome, and reminding her that she said that they were going to get the worst of the worst. Isn't this guy a Republican? Republicans they're flipping on a lot of stories. So they may be flipping on this ICE. Isn't this guy a Republican? Oh, well, let me know if he's a Democrat. What he got on him? Right here, let's see what he wearing. He got red. You know, ain't no Democrat wearing red. That's a Republican. Oh, they turning on Trump too. This is the second thing. Republicans are turning on Trump about ICE. He said, I thought you was going to get the worst of the worst, the murderers, the R's, the actual offenders. She's not doing that. She's talking about Christy. No, that's not happening. They've decided that they're going to get anybody in the community improperly, and that's wrong. This is his statement. They are taking time going after working people in our community, and it is not considered the worst of the worst. I will write to Trump administration and ask them to take ICE out of Memphis. It shouldn't be part of the surge. They got to help us with the crime problem. But he said they got to help us with the crime problem. Yo, Memphis is crooked. Don't forget, rest in peace, Tyree Nichols. Because the police out there, I'm just going to say that, baby. The crime is bad because the police are not enforcing the laws correctly, and they're actually participating in crime just like they was doing in Jersey. Memphis remind me of Jersey, some of the corruption, because, you know, they had that spider task force out there doing some wild stuff. So he admit that Memphis have a crime problem. But he said, don't come mess with our migrants because guess what? They're helping our economy. So this is Memphis reacting to what's going on with ICE. Okay. If you happen to watch this on the replay, please hit the like button. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. This is our second broadcast. What I'm doing is just streaming randomly, getting myself in the stream wherever I can. If you come across it, please hit the like button. Let them know that, you know, you appreciate the different type of commissary. Oh Lord, like we in jail. Commentary. They almost got us all in jail. Anyway, that you appreciate the commentary and the comprehensive breakdown of what I do when it comes to this information, because we're not right, we're not left. We're just talking from a non-biased perspective. You know, I'm kind of bringing y'all heart back to life. Let's go. This is their reaction to ICE being in Memphis. We're going to be coming to the end of this broadcast in the next 15 minutes.
Fear voiced in the immigrant community over the Memphis State Task Force in the Bluff City. Dozens packed a MSCS meeting Tuesday night, worried about how federal agents in the area could affect their children.
Right now, due to a lot of federal agencies in our streets, a lot of parents are scared to drive, take their kids to school. Others cannot afford tax, insurance, and without that kind of, you can be targeted and stopped.
Parents and advocates say families are living in fear, and that fear is keeping students home. Parents have been fearful of their workplaces being raided by ICE. They've been afraid of going to the grocery store, and now they must worry if they'll be detained en route to picking up their own children. Board members voted to expand school bus routes, hoping the move will help immigrant families safely get their kids to class.
I'm sorry, y'all. They're not stupid. They trying it. They do that, they gonna put all them immigrant students and the parents in jeopardy. What? Them ICE agents gonna be right at the bus stop. What? They don't care. Y'all think that they wasn't hemming up the kids in Chicago because we couldn't get the clips. But they were separating the kids from the parents. They had them traumatized some way, somehow. Just like they pepper sprayed the 1-year-old child in Chicago. What? Please, I know you're trying, babe. That is a idea, but I think that's a setup. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I implore you to take care of these children and provide services such as buses, as these children and students here in Salt Lake County are at risk of being harassed, racially profiled, detained, or taken away from these families.
They should, you know what they should do? They should give them an option to online schooling for just a short period, like 6 months, 3 months, for people just to see how the kids handle it. For the parents who really afraid, I think they should do that. Otherwise, this busing thing, they're about to run down on them buses. It's gonna be crazy.
Have the right to feel safe at school. Some speakers said absences are already rising and families are even leaving the district.
A couple of families have withdrawn their students and claim that they're going back to their home countries. Absentees have increased as well, and students are missing out on material and not receiving the free and quality education that they deserve.
Now, it's twofold factors to this we got to think about. First and foremost, if any Trump supporters happen to come through, they're going to be like, yes, self-deport. Point taken. But you got to understand, each school district gets money based on the number of students and attendance. And some of them are getting money based on a grading system as well, how well their students do. So this is going to severely affect certain school districts because their kids are unrolling, unenrolling. Hey, and guess what else is looming over the educational system? The shutdown of the federal education program. This is not good news. This is not good news. We've been keying like, haha, Mega getting what they asked for. We getting what Mega asked for. We all getting it right now.
At a recent school board work session, it was announced MSCS enrollment had declined by more than 2,000 students compared to last year, but does not know what impact federal agents have had on recent attendance. Still, district leaders said there's no evidence of ICE activity on school grounds, but safety protocols are ready if needed. Since then, there have been no reports of any immigration enforcement action on any of our school campuses, despite a visibly increased presence of federal law enforcement and National Guard personnel in our communities. Some board members pressed about what would happen if federal agents showed up on school property.
So if they are on our property and ICE tries to take them, can our SRO stop them from doing that on our property?
Others call for unity.
You better be strong, because those ICE agents be fighting. They don't care who they fight. They fight. They locked up mayors. Girl, you better be ready, Memphis. Oh, I just had to warn her. She said, can my people stop ICE? Hell to the no. I'm just being honest until God stop ICE, because these people is rogue. They rogue. The police stopping them, though. I'm just being honest. Lock them up.
Immediate action to support every student.
We're going to continue to push and support our students and make sure we're providing a safe environment, and we're going to hopefully agree on this transportation resolution as well. I think
that's not a good idea, y'all. I'm scared. I'm scared. If y'all just tuning in, I'm afraid. Now, I'm so glad. Remember, I told y'all to go to y'all aldermen, go to y'all council members in y'all area to ask them what could we do to prevent us from, or mitigating the encounter with ICE. This is very admirable. I'm just going to be honest, but it's scary. I do believe if they bus the migrant students to school, particularly, the ICE is going to be right there at the bus stop. They're going to hem them up. Instead of ICE getting the list and just going to these people's house at night, just kind of like easing in, getting them. If they're actually criminals, I'm just saying, try to not traumatize everybody. And I don't want no kids traumatized, but if they have a real warrant and things to do to get these people, I think that's the best route. But watch this. This is going to be a black ball, y'all. Grace is making a prediction. If they do this bus thing, ICE is going to run down on the bus. They're not going to give a cotton picking. All right. I want to say thank you for the ones who stopped by today. This is my second broadcast.
Second, wait for the National Guard to show up. Many are wondering what impact the Memphis safe.
Hold on one second. This is my second broadcast today. I don't usually broadcast at 11 a.m. 8 o'clock a.m. is usually when I broadcast, and it's going wonderful. I'm grateful for the algorithm. But again, I don't want to be trained on just going one particular time, having one type of content. I'm here to build a family of people who have different minds, who think different. I don't want you to think like me, but I do want you to have an open mind and come with the facts and lead with love. So if you like that type of commentary, this is the place for you, because I think we're going to have to build coalitions of people who, one, heart is activated, two, know what's going on when it comes to law, and don't deal with their emotions too much. We can't be in here name calling all the time. And I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican, and we all getting screwed. So that's where I'm at. My name is Miss Grace. Let's get to this other issue. Okay, this is an issue that's flaring up in Memphis that we got to keep our eye on, and we're going to end off on this. How will Memphis Safety Task Force impact Mason ICE facility? Now, obviously, that's probably like Rikers Island. I never heard about Mason ICE facility. 9 out of 10, it's probably terrible. Just like the Delaney Hall in Jersey, just like the facility out in Chicago that they're trying to get the people out. They picked the worst of the worst. Now, this is a safety force committee. I'm going to give you an update because not only the mayors are getting arrested, I think one of the safety force committee got arrested by ICE.
And wait for the National Guard to show
A
up.
U.S.
Many are
citizen.
wondering what impact the Memphis Safe Task Force will have on day-to-day life. Some also have questions about how this might impact the new Immigration and Customs Detention Facility in Mason. WRG's Shay Arthur sat down with an immigration attorney to hear those concerns.
Tonight, we're getting more insight into the ICE facility in Mason, a little less than an hour north of downtown Memphis.
They are filling the beds.
Immigration attorney Andrew Rankin believes they are scheduling inmates at the facility for hearings, most likely by video conferencing.
The detainees who are being housed there, they are scheduling them for hearings, and I know that because I have one coming up on Friday.
Where these detainees are held is an issue.
There's nowhere to put them in Shelby County. The only place that they can keep them is at the ICE facility, which is out near the airport, but they only have some holding rooms. That's not even a place.
That's too close to the airport for me. Oh my God. Because you know they just be loading people up and getting American citizens. That's too close to the airport. I'm scared. That's scary. I'm scared.
Hold them short term. And it's important to understand, short term is for detention facilities for ICE is defined as under 72 hours.
So instead of people arrested in the Mid-South going to the Louisiana facility where they went historically, they're in Mason.
Which could also be a good thing though, Shay, because it keeps them closer to family.
And that airport, I'm just saying.
Imagine the 45-minute drive up I-40 to Mason versus the 7 to 8 hour drive to one of the Louisiana facilities.
Which he says helps with legal coordination as well. But with President Trump's new Memphis Safe Task Force adding boots on the ground,
it's going to fill up with the enforcement heavy mentality. And so then the question becomes, okay, what happens when that facility is full? Because as we've seen, there are a lot of overcrowding concerns with these immigration jails across the country.
For your news leader, Shay Arthur, WREG News Channel 3.
Okay, so
now a spokesperson would not address our question about hearings at that facility, but did say of the Mason site that it will have capacity to house 500 detainees. As we were in the initial opening of the facility, there are approximately 20 detainees at that facility.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. They said they had 20. They starting to load it up. Okay, now this is the last part. Hold on. Here we go. Memphis Safety Task Force arrest. Okay, let's see. I think this was the one.
Here's a game changer on how to make money on your
Bear
own
with
time.
me. Thank you for being here with Miss Grace this morning. Okay, I had to catch up on a lot that was going on. It's been a busy week. My broadcast is also for the working individual who can't just watch YouTube all day and need a comprehensive breakdown. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do here. All right, Memphis Safety Task Force arrest impacting immigration communities. All right, what's going on with them? Now let's finish this.
Arrests, hundreds of guns seized, dozens of missing children found, and doubling down on their focus to get violent criminals off the streets.
Dozens of missing children.
Immigrants being
They not
detained
told. Wait a minute. Y'all heard that? She added that in. We ain't hearing about the children they finding and what they doing, taking them to tender care, tender hands. We're going to talk about that because one of the broadcasters was talking about tender care facilities, and she was so choking up about what she have learned about the treatment and what they're doing to the kids. And these kids are allegedly suffering from, and I'm going to move forward. We're going to talk about that. I think we're going to do a reaction this weekend.
Hundreds of guns seized, dozens of missing children found, and doubling down on their focus to get violent criminals off the streets. But the nonviolent immigrants being detained are having a traumatic effect on families in our area. It's what the task force lists as administrative arrests. Now, the Daily Memphian sat down with the president and CEO of Latino Memphis, Mauricio Calvo, who is the only staff member's name and picture that you will find on the organization's website right now. In Jeff Calkin's interview, Calvo says his staff staff asked for their names and pictures to be removed because they don't want to be targeted. It's one of the many things he mentions in that interview of how this is impacting immigrant families. Now, V901 is a group made up of volunteers trained to record ICE detentions that are happening around Memphis. They posted on Facebook 3 different ICE raids in one day. It's fine print there, but there was one earlier in the day that took a father away from his wife and baby while driving to the baby's doctor's appointment, leaving the mother and the baby on the side of the road. The second explains the use of force used against 2 homeless people that they searched and ended up arresting one. And then the last ended with 2 women in the Home Depot parking lot in Midtown where they arrested a single mother who was begging not to be separated from her child. And these are people who go out and film these instances as well.
Scary.
So, Luke, I want to open it to you. I did not get my hands on the physical police reports from these detailed incidents, but from what it is being described, is this humane to you?
When you commit a crime, there are consequences for those actions. If a Memphian commits a crime, commits a burglary, he is separated from his family. If he has
Now that's a burglary. We're talking about a civil situation because again, we have to monitor how many of these people are actually criminals that they're arresting. I'm not going to let him gaslight, but I'm going to let him finish because he made me sick with his introduction.
Kids, he is separated from his family. In this instance, we are restoring order in our community. And like you mentioned, we don't know the arrests, whether they were under additional underlying crimes, additional than crossing the border illegally, working here illegally, using Social Security.
You don't know. You don't know. Guess why? Because the people who we are arresting, 9 out of 10, they're not doing nothing illegal. They're working, and we're just processing them through the system. I promise you, this is going to be my last prediction for today. They're going to do a report of how many people actually was arrested, and they're going to compare the American citizens versus the non-American citizens, the criminals versus the non-criminals. And then we have to remember, civil crimes are not criminal crimes, okay? Civil crimes should not entail you having to have your beat by the police if that's dealing with paperwork. It's ways that you handle it. And a lot of civil cases, you don't even end up in jail. It's monetary requirements, or in this case, deportation. So I'm going to fast forward this guy. I'm going to feel it because he's just making me feel a little way. But at the end of I think he talks most of this. At the end of the day, I do think that we have something that we have to address as a nation of our approach to this, because after all of this is said and done, I think that we are not going to have the criminals out. I believe that Tren de Agua and a lot of other sleeping cells are still here right now, just watching us be in chaos and waiting for the right time. Yeah, that's what we're going to end off in. Just like what happened when the Hebrews, the Israel of the Bible, was taken away from their land. They were fighting. I have to tell you, they were split. They were fighting. This is not about nationality, not about color. I don't care. I'm a Hebrew. I'm telling you Bible stories. It weakens a nation. It weakens a body of people. Even it weakens a household if you have people in your household fighting, your relationship, you're fighting. How can y'all stand that